It's AJ here with AJ Takes the Streets. Today I'm going to give you a walk around of this 2022 Ford Badlands Bronco. And we'll get a little bit of inside action too, but I just want to take you around this Velocity Blue Metallic Ford Bronco. It is a 2022 non-Sasquatch Badlands. For those of you who are in the market looking for a Ford Bronco, the Badlands is right next to the Wild Track. The only difference is the Badlands doesn't have a Sasquatch package on it standard. Now, the Badlands trim standard suspension is still your Haas-Bilstein suspension, the same one that's on the Wild Track and the Sasquatch builds. The only difference is it is a ½ inch lower and it doesn't have 35s. That is pretty much the biggest difference between the Badlands suspension and the Sasquatch suspension. Now, the difference between your non-suspensions or your standard trims and the Badlands is that 1.5 inch lift and the Bilstein dampeners, or the upgraded Bilstein dampeners, if I read that right. Anyway, let's take a look around this Bronco. This is Ford's Velocity Blue Metallic color. You'll see on the front here we do have the carbonized gray grille. The difference, if you're wondering, between the Badlands and the Wild Track, you can see it in the grille if you don't already see it in the wheels themselves. So if you can't identify that one has 35s, one has 33s, look at the grille. The Badlands trims have the carbonized gray grille. The Wild Tracks have the black grille. Now, the wheels on the Badlands are an upgrade from your standard trim models. They are 17-inch wheels. I have them with the carbonized gray rings, the beadlock rings, and they're wrapped in 33-inch Wrangler tires. Mine are the BF Goodrich all-terrains. I do have the soft top. This is how I do drive it most of the time, without the rear quarter panel windows or the rear window at all. I just take that off and it gives me more flexibility to just drop the soft top all the way back and have a fully roofless experience. The only upgrade that I've done to my Ford Bronco so far is these blackout cover lights. It's just a tail light kit that I got from CJ Pony Parts, made by GT Styling, and it's a simple cover kit. You can go ahead and check out the video here on the installation, but it was simple, cheap. I got it for right at $100. I know some may think that's a lot, but I wanted the easiest way to black out my lights and not have to take it to someone else, because I don't have the tools to necessarily heat gun or heat wrap my lights themselves or get my lights painted. I just thought I'd do something simple, and it's a simple two-piece cover that you Velcro strap into or onto your current light fixture. So if you don't like it, you just pull it off and you're good to go. There's nothing you got to do. So it comes with two pieces here and here. Again, check out the video here. I'll be doing a couple other upgrades to this in terms of modifications from the outside of making it look nice. Not that it doesn't look nice, this looks amazing, but I'm all about the blackout kits. So I'll be adding a black stripe sometime in the near future. I already have it, just need to get it installed, find a shop that has the time to do that. And I do have some custom badges that will be coming in right here. I named this Bronco Berlin's Bronco for it being blue, Berlin's for being a Badlands, and of course it's a Bronco, so Berlin's Bronco. Go ahead and follow it on IG if you're into car builds. This channel isn't necessarily just about this Bronco, it's just about me hitting the streets up in my Bronco and other vehicles as I cruise around Florida or even throughout the Southeast to certain car events. There are your armored Broncos, and that's pretty much just the Broncos that have the rock rails here, as you see on the bottom. have the rock rails and the bash plates on the bottom too, or armored Broncos. I believe there's only 3 of them that it comes with standard. That's the Badlands, the first edition, and the Wild Trek. So the first edition did come with the armored package. The Wild Trek, I believe, does too, and of course the Badlands Bronco does. Let's go ahead and see how much space you have on the back. So some of you are pet owners, dog owners. Some of you are planning to take trips across the country. Some of you just have a family and you guys want a weekend vehicle that you can go out to the beach or out into the mountains or wherever you are located, doing some outdoor activity with the family. So to give you an example of how much space is in here, I think it's more than enough. It is kind of your traditional space that you would see in such a vehicle such as a Jeep Wrangler, Jeep Cherokee, some of your smaller, like your CRV, your RAV4. That's what you're comparing the space on the inside to, really. And for me, I have 2 golden retrievers, so you see it's quite messy back here. It doesn't matter how many times you vacuum a week, how many times you clean it out a week, even if it's daily, it's gonna look something like this. Now the Badlands trim does have this rubberized material, rubberized plastic material, which makes it a little harder to keep clean, in the sense that it just sticks, like this dirt just sticks to the actual rubberized material. You have quite some storage space here in the back that you could put any additional tools. Me, I have my tripod, I'll put my camera, and then I have my cleaner here, but you also have your jack here. But maybe if you have an aftermarket system you're trying to put in, you could put the channels and amps here and have them seal it. It does have a drain plug, so it is somewhat not waterproof, but kind of water resistant. You have a 12-volt plug here, and this is your back without the seats down. Let me go ahead and put the seats down, give you an example of how much total space you have. Put the button down. It does have a 60-40 split, so maybe you do want one seat available and just have a split. This is what it would look like. Now let's take the other split, fully down. So this gives you an example of how much total space you have if you needed to go out with a friend, spouse, by yourself, whatever it is. This is how much space you have. It's more than enough. Again, I have 2 golden retrievers. One's 80 pounds, the other one is 55 pounds, and they fit in here perfectly fine. Only gripe I have is sometimes they'll get a little too close to the door while they're sniffing out the window and they might slip. So I need to think of something to kind of alleviate any injuries from or mitigate any injuries from happening in the future. Now, most of the time, this is how I drive with my 2 dogs. So for you pet lovers, keep on watching. If you don't have pets, skip fast forward through. But this usually gets the job done for me. So I have one dog that likes to kind of be against the seat. The other one likes to come back here, roam around, look out the back, and then lay down maybe back here or on that like seat edge right there between the seat and the back. So this is, most of the time when I'm riding around, this is my setup. Now let's check out the back, and you'll notice there's this bar that comes down. This is pretty much just a support for the windows when you have them installed, and it has this here, the installation, the railing adjustment, but it's also to serve as a support for your top when you throw it all the way back. So how much space is in the back? Let's take a look. So I am about 5'10", and this is what you'll see if you are about 5'10" from the back seat. So as I mentioned, it is slightly higher than your seats up front, but there's more than enough room. I don't feel claustrophobic. You know, I could ask the person up front, hey, can you move up the seat a little bit? But I am fully relaxed. I have my feet tucked under the seat, and I'm comfortable. You know, my head's back straight, not in a slouch position, very neutral and comfortable. Now, 2 people can easily fit back here. So 2 people at 5'10" can fit back here very comfortably. It's more than enough room. Can you fit 3 people back here? Absolutely. If you have a family and 3 kids, is this more than enough space? Certainly is. If you're a family and you have 1 kid and a dog, is it more than enough space? For sure. 2 kids and a dog, still have enough space. 2 kids can be up here and a dog can be in the back. So very comfortable. You have these little pockets. There's no cup holders, but the cool thing is these actually can serve as cup holders. So let me get my water bottle, for example. Put this in, close, and that's kind of the cup holder. Now let's check out the passenger side view, give you an example of what you'll experience as a driver of the Bronco. This is the driver's side. It's very comfortable. It's adjustable. In the Badlands trim, it is manual adjustment. It's something I chose. It's something you have to sacrifice, and I believe it's because if you have the Badlands trim is more so your trim that's more for water, right? It has plugs. For example, if you see down there, I don't know if you can see that, but that's a plug that you can wash out the Bronco. Or if you're out on the beach or trekking through the mountains and the rivers, you don't have to worry about the inside getting wet. It'll just drain through the plugs. So that's pretty cool. But let's start this up for a second. Give you an example, or give you the POV of the startup. More than enough room. 5'10", 200 pounds. I'm not too tight. I don't feel claustrophobic. There's a lot of room. This is the inside. See, turn back, more than enough room for 2 people to be back there. 2 kids, 3 kids. 3 kids is pushing it, but definitely family oriented, or can be a family oriented vehicle. If you're in a Jeep Grand Cherokee, you'll be fine in the Bronco. Now, soft top versus hard top. I chose a soft top just so my Bronco would get here quicker, and it came a lot quicker than it was supposed to, by about 6 months. But the soft top road noise, I don't mind it, but I'm speaking from a very biased standpoint because I always have my windows down. Every single car I've had, from my Honda Accord to my 4Runner to my Audi S5, I always had my windows down all the time. If it wasn't raining, my windows were down. And it's the same thing in my Bronco. This is exactly how I drive it most of the time. As I mentioned, I always have the back windows out, windows down, but I don't always have the top off. But I just love this open air experience. When I had my 4Runner, I did the same thing. Had all the windows down, and I had the back window down all the way. So it was like this open air experience, which sucks when it comes to cleaning the vehicle, because there's always dirt. You'll notice here, like it doesn't matter. There's always dirt, right? I wipe down my steering wheel and my center console every day. Doesn't matter. So that's the Bronco from the inside. I love it. It is by far my favorite SUV that I've had. I've had the 4Runner. Comparing it against the 4Runner, I love the 4Runner, but the Bronco is just a different beast. It's a different monster. It's made for off-roading. So is the 4Runner, but this is just designed by Ford to take you off-road. It is a 2.7 liter twin turbo engine. If you're putting premium in it, you can get about 330 horsepower and about 300 pounds of torque, I believe. I'm not going to do too many upgrades to this. As I mentioned, just the stripe, the badging. When it comes to performance, I'll eventually maybe put a tune on this. It's not needed. in my opinion, driving it so far. I'll definitely upgrade the exhaust eventually. But yeah, this is the 2022 Ford Bronco Badlands trim 2.7 liter turbo, twin turbo. It's AJ here at AJ Takes the Streets. If you have any questions on this Ford Bronco or any other Ford Broncos, I have driven the 2.3 liter, but I haven't driven the manual, so I can at least give you some feedback. Please do leave any comments or questions in the comment section, and I'll get to it. Till next time, we out.